we've got some wind. Boy, have we got some wind. It's been every night for weeks, and it's, I don't know, some of the gusts are getting up to 80 miles an hour at least, to nail everything down again, but that's beside the point. I've been up against a struggle here, as many of you might know, with an eviction process that was completely out of the blue, for over 120 people, and it all stemmed from the person responsible for this site taking our ground rent money, which is supposed to be used towards utilities, water and electric, and not paying either bill for a year and then running off with the money. So the actual boss, technically, of the area, because it is an area, it's a large area, this, pocketed the money, didn't pay the bills, and then buggered off. This was, as we realised later, I'm not going to go into too much depth with this, but this is part of the Agenda 21 movement to move people off the land, and this actually happened all over Spain. The notice was served on Friday, March the 13th, the day before the lockdown. Now, we'd already got wind of it, so we'd moved off probably 80% of our home into storage, caravan, white goods, well, everything. Actually dismantled the kitchen, swapped everything around so that we could be ready to go at a moment's notice, if we had to, just hot-tail it out of here. And then decided to get bloody minded and think, no, I'm actually going to stay. I'm going to sweat this out, see what happens. And we arranged somewhere else to move to, just in case there was a problem. But I thought, well, we're going to sweat this out, see what happens. Anyway, inevitably, the place that we were thinking of moving to, guy needs to sell up, which is fine. So we were back to square one. Right, we're here again. Didn't have our stuff. It was all in storage, paying out every month, etc., etc. Anyway, bit of good news turned up. It's been quite a good week for good news. Because we've been bloody minded enough to stay, we've outseen the eviction notice, which means they can no longer evict within that period. And according to the solicitor, or solicitors I should say, it's going to take them years, if ever, to get us off here, especially now with the current scenario going on. So we essentially, although we could never sell on and reclaim the money back that we invested, which is a huge amount of money for a home, but a good amount of money would have enabled us to have moved on and bought somewhere else, or changed our lifestyle, if you like. We won't be able to get that back, but we will be able to live here completely free. At the moment we have electricity and it's coming in free. Water is, I'd say now we've got it up to 5 out of 7 days a week, and we're working to get it up to 7. We know, we're not stupid, that both utility companies will probably come knocking at some point, and then we can work out a system. We can switch over to solar anyway, and gas and rocket stoves, etc., and thermodynamics and Peltier cells. We've got the whole setup if an emergency should happen like that. To be honest with you, we would probably leave if they cut the utilities, because it's going to be up to 45 Celsius just as a normal day within a few weeks from now, and we couldn't survive here. Even with all the will in the world, you'd need £5,000 or £6,000 worth of solar panels alone just to run a household if you have no input of electric. If we just took the trailer, the caravan somewhere, then we could run the entire caravan no problem. But go stir, you'd just go crazy after a while living in a caravan. You have to have more. So we're going to stay, and we're going to build up. I've already started. We're going to rebuild our home. We're also going to take over a larger piece of land here, because we actually had 2 pieces of land here initially, which we've lost. So we're going to take over another piece, and we're going to develop that as well. I say develop it. We're going to basically turn one plot of land into a home, and the other plot of land will be our garden and grow area. And we're going to put the pool up. We're going to put the pergolas back up, the shading. The cabin can be turned back into a kitchen. The caravan can have its awning, the full awning, which we've never used here, alongside, and we'll actually just have 2 separate areas. So it's a bit of a personal battle against the Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 pushers, because they failed. It's not just me here. There's 6 or 7 people left. Some of them are equally as bloody minded. Luckily, they're a nice bunch now. We seem to have a good mix of people here. They keep themselves to themselves, and family people and quiet people. So hopefully we won't get invaded, if you know what I mean. We still might invite people to come and live here if we feel the numbers need bolstering, but we don't want, obviously, any bad influences coming in because of the space we have and the situation we're in now. And we're well defended here as well, you know. Us men up in the mountains, we're mountain men, don't forget now. I'm a mountain man, grr. You know, watch me roar. So we know the tricks, and we have gates, and we have fences, and we have lights, and we have cameras and alarms, and we have the means to see anybody off. But these things are, you know, at night, if we turn the electric off, you don't see past your elbow unless there's a moon. It goes completely like a blanket. I mean, sometimes you can see the stars here are incredible, and the moon, when the moon lights up the mountainside and reflects off the rock, then you get a lot of light. But if there's a no moon period phase and you turn the lights off, you could be under a under a blackout blanket and you'd never know. So security is a big issue. So there is a way to beat the system. Sometimes there is a way to hold firm and be prepared. We were prepared to leave. We were prepared to, you know, we've actually spent a lot of money out, which we'll never get back, putting stuff into storage and hiring vans to move. But we figured that protecting that stuff, because we didn't know what would happen, would be more vital if we needed to rehome in the future than keeping it here and us, if that makes sense. We don't know what's going to happen next. All I want to do now, as the summer's coming up, is we've decided, as I said in my last video, we're really not going to do anything this summer. We're going to try and conserve as much of our whatever's left of the money and living that we can, and we're going to stay at home. We will go out and fish, and we'll maybe do the odd camping trip, but we're going to rein ourselves back, and we know that's going to hurt the economy because it won't be just us doing it. However, I believe to go and splurge and go on, it's a false promise. You might be encouraged to go and kickstart the economy again, go and help. I mean, I agree, help local businesses and shops and people that you need, core businesses. But if you go and waste money now, put it in somebody else's pocket, and that business forces closed again, it's a futile thing, especially if you know that financial times or hard times are coming, and the world is going to experience financial hard times like we've never seen in any of our lifetimes. It doesn't matter what generation you are. The only comparison is the depression in the 20s, and looking at the charts, we are going to be in for a worse time than the depression era of the 20s. Horrible thought, isn't it? So fight if you get the opportunity. Stand your ground. A lot of people are looking the other way at the moment as well, so just, you know, take some heart that Agenda 21, if you understand what Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 is, isn't working everywhere. It's not working everywhere. Cheers, everyone.